the question that we had over our break is, what happens if you have multiple kind of views or components on your page that you have separated those out into specific controllers for each view? So in our case, we actually had a look at a dashboard. Is how do you manage the data across those multiple views? And so from an architectural standpoint, in one case is we had, within this dashboard, we had multiple views that had no really visual relationship with the other portions of it. So like we had like a contact kind of a view, and then we had an invoices view, and then we had like a messages view. Is those particular visual components do not share the same information. And so what I recommended to do is to actually turn those into directives and then inject just the data you need for that particular directive. So for instance, in a primary contact view, you might say, using isolated scope, is say contact equals primary contact, where primary contact is a property on your parent scope object, which you're setting. So let's say in our case we're using a reservation service that owns the entire domain model for that view. Is you would say scope.primaryContact equals reservation service dot get primary contact. And so you're saying to the service, go ahead and give me this information, and I'm going to pass it along to the directive. So I'm in favor of small, lightweight controllers and fat models. Is that if you're doing data manipulation or any kind of data-heavy stuff, is do that kind of behind the scenes in your services. That's what they're there for. So the next question that we had is, what happens if you need to share information between controllers, and how do you kind of manage that without kind of going into this broadcast event hell? And so I'm going to make some assumptions without actually seeing the code. So if I get something totally wrong, forgive me. I'm guessing at what's happening. Sure. Is, once again, if you have your data and it's isolated into a service, is that I would imagine that a portion of your view is only concerned with a specific part of the model. And so in that case, so let's say you had in your service you had primary contact, reservations, and messages. Well, if messages changed in one controller and you want to let another controller know, well, let's say those are 2 out of 10 controllers on the page. They're only going to care